Well, greetings and blessings to all of you, my fellow humans on Earth at this time. Our species is having a hard time right now, and lots at stake. It's very existential crisis that we're at right now. And that creates for some interesting developments. It's, I believe it was Jeff Bridges' character in the movie Starman. He was a alien form who took over a human body and was experiencing life here on Earth. And one of the things he told the character, of course, is this trite line that us humans, we're the best when things are at their worst. All right, so that's neat. That's a nice thought. So a lot of times when things are really in a crisis time, you see like a proliferation of art or theater or something like that. So absurdist theater is born as a response to crisis times and bad politics. So politics can no longer function. The political class is no longer capable of serving the people the countries that they're serving. They're just completely off. Wars happening, torture, rape. People are out of their minds, and we're not talking to each other. We're not honest. A lot of deception. A lot of the world religions are kind of being maxed out for their worst and best. It's all just maxing out, right? Sort of apocalyptic, if you will. But anyway, during these times, situationist art, clever things happen. It's like the flowering of humanity. It's like, some plant, if a plant is out and it senses that it's the fall time, in other words, the sun's leaving, it's almost over, and then something happens to one bottom part of the plant, the root or something, you think, oh man, that's it, the plant's dead, but actually it can shift energy around the plant. It can move energy up to the blossoming area, the budding, flowering, blossoming area, as a means of surviving the species. So it can say, look, the plant that I'm a part of right now, the individual plant, is probably going to die. The root's been severed, things went wrong. But rather than try to salvage that and save the root, which we really can't, we're going to put all the energy up into this new blossom. And this new blossom is going to be awesome. Bees are going to come by. Birds come by, eat the fruit, So the birds and the bees, and we're fertilizing and we're surviving. We put some genetic material out there, and it's probably going to make it. Same thing with the human species. It's like we've let this like the worst of the worst. The religions, Christianity it's been taken over a lot it's kind of being represented by these horrible figures that are not representing Christian values. Pete Hegseth, other Christians, right? And then for Christians to try to conflate Donald Trump with their Christianity, see him as some kind of Christian figure, and then for him to just go full max and convey himself as some sort of child book cartoon Jesus figure, and it's like, oh, I'm a healer, I'm healing. That's it, it's like you're done. That political class, the use of the religion in that way, it's cynical, it's blasphemy. And what the Zionists have done in Israel in the name of Judaism, also blasphemy. And it's genocidal blasphemy, and their blasphemy is leaking onto us. So, but what the other thing that's happening that I haven't mentioned are these Lego videos. So there's been this whole Lego phenomenon, Lego projects, Lego video movies, stuff like that. And so this musical artist in Iran, I believe, Mr. Explosive, amazing. If it's a person or a collective or whatever it is, It's actually amazing. And I'm looking at it as like a flowering of humanity. It's reaching across the aisle. It's expressing universal truths. It's dipping into the sorrow that's a part of all this horrible, needless destruction, war. And it's just touching all these great things: hope, aspiration. It's a prayer, and it's music. And so they started out, I remember I saw a couple of them, they were kind of like hip hop. I don't know, not hip hop, but this kind of R&B, more modern, auto tuner sounding music that all the young people listen to now. I don't know how to describe it. It's just auto tuner music, and it was right in line with that, and it was awesome. And it was kind of funny, a little bit snarky, kind of hitting the Trump admin a little bit, and that's good. And it went viral. Well, but not like in a no kings, lame, no content kind of way. Just we hate Donald Trump and Elon Musk. No, this was funny. It was good. It had facts and details and stuff that are nuanced, and also hit the CIA. If you can't mention the CIA, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you on the radio? Ian Masters, do an expose of John Brennan. Focus on John Brennan. Do an expose of John Brennan, and then I'll take you seriously again. You're speaking words. You're saying you have intelligent cast, but you're just in this frame of hating Trump so much, and that has blinded you. Trump is now an orange foil in front of your face that you can't seem to see around him. There's other people. There's other things that are doing things. Trump is actually sometimes being manipulated by them. Sometimes he's manipulating, whatever. But there's no analysis of anything else. And therefore it's lame. And it's part of the problem. It's part of how we're getting to this place. Our political class is allowed to be so abusive and horrible because there's no resistance, no real resistance, no consciousness of what's even happening. It's all focused on Trump. But again, these videos, these Lego videos from Mr. Explosive are amazing. I love them. I feel a sense of love. This Rabbi Yohanan Beck, amazing guy. There's this proliferation, sort of the popularity of the Gnostic Bible and the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Ethiopian Bible is having a day right now. This is an expanding consciousness amongst some of the Christians that are willing to explore, that aren't falling into this pro-Zionist weird Pete Hegseth mess, right? So Christianity, I want to say Franklin Graham, maybe the Moral Majority, Pat Robertson, Paul Weyrich from the Heritage Foundation. He decides to just weaponize Christianity, basically. We're going to distribute voter guides and get them all Republican, and get them all focused on these divisive social issues from a religious point of view that can't be solved: abortion, gun control, whatever. Just going to focus them and manipulate them. And that's been operative, and it's been heavily, and it's also wrapped together with this pro-Israel Zionist. There's been people giving these tours where they take you over to Israel with super pro-Israel Zionists, and they give you this skewed history as they're showing you stuff. And then they take you by and say, oh, look, by the way, here's the dirty Arabs. Don't they smell like poop? Well, yeah, once you went and sprayed poop water over the wall at them that morning, because you're just a cruel, sadistic culture now. And then you're telling the idiot Christian tourist, how bad the Arabic people are. And then they fall for it. Just letting you know they're not Christians. Right? Jesus didn't go over to the edge of some culture and say, okay. Actually, he didn't like the Canaanites, which that's the Israelis that are pretending to be Israelis now. He didn't like money changers in churches. The idea of money selling access, he didn't like that. Got mad. Actually got mad with money changers. And there's one scene where a Canaanite woman approached him. He ended up having mercy on her and dealing with her. But at first he's kind of like, yeah, no. But anyway, that's some nuance of that, his particular story. But the point is, though, that if you're in this business of going along with a modern genocide and a war grifter state that's out of its mind, and people with this horrible rhetoric, then you're not really Jewish, you're not really Christian, you don't deserve to keeping wielding that anymore. You're the other side. You're bad. You're wrong. You need help. You need to wake up. God needs to show you what's really going on. And I hope that happens for you. The rest of us need to call you out. The rest of us, Pete Hegseth is a clown, joke, abomination. Frat boy. With a big gun. It's like we gave a drunken frat boy, rapey, drunken frat boy, we gave him the biggest gun we could find. So here you go. It's kind of what we've done. That's us. That's on us. But I'm just trying to frame this in a different perspective and just focus on the positive. This Mr. Explosive and other forms of expression. There's times I go on, I'm just like, oh my God, this is great. These people are really nailing it. They're really saying what needs to be said, sometimes, right? And there's still some good journalists too. We gotta keep mentioning them. Gotta keep pointing to them and their content. And just people that make you think and question also in a really appropriate time and appropriate way. I think it's Professor Zhang is kind of an internet phenomenon. Xiang, something like that. Predictive History, I think is his channel. Just very interesting. I'm not gonna, let's move away from saying, oh, I like him. I hate him. Ben Shapiro, he's all good. Ben Shapiro, he's all evil. Well, actually, Ben Shapiro is a nuanced person. I actually hate him at this point. But we have to get away from that a little bit and just be like, what if Ben Shapiro comes out and is saying this message, Candace Owens is the devil or something like that, then let's deal with the content of that and not try to make it a little bit less about these personalities. Anyway, apparently the Daily Wire, they're laying off a bunch of people. Their numbers are way down. That's the irony. The more that Israel captured media pumps and pays and influencers and to say that Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and other people that are able to somehow talk candidly about them. So the only people that aren't captured by them completely, right, left, center, I don't care if you agree with them or love them, hate them, whatever. I see them as all basically kind of ex-Fox News personalities that have evolved. They're interesting. I would not dismiss them. I'm curious. I'm interested. I'm not saying I love Candace, hate anybody. No, I don't love, hate, just enjoy. Just take in some of the content and have an evaluation. Anyway, their numbers are way up. Candace, Tucker. TPUSA is turning into empty seats. Tickets not sold. It's without Charlie Kirk. And the reality, the authenticity that evolved there. This authentic chance to engage with something, a dialogue, a controversial topic, something on my campus, but we're going to engage and do it in an honest way. And I'm free to do it too. I'm free to talk. at your event. That's so awesome. And Erica Kirk in a pantsuit with fireworks and stuff is the opposite of that. Authenticity. It's show. It's all show. So that's not Christian, and that's not authentic. And it's boring. It's just more show, more fluff. We got show and fluff everywhere. We don't need more show and fluff and Disney crap. We don't need that. We need authentic. Right? That's what we want. And that's why these long form interviews, people like Joe Rogan are having such a great thing, because they just unfiltered. You've heard a lot about so-and-so. You hate her or you love him. Well, I have him on as a guest today for an hour. We're going to sit here for sometimes 3 hours. And maybe we're going to smoke some weed. Maybe we're going to smoke some cigars. Maybe we won't do any of that. But we're just sit around and talk for 3 hours, candidly. And so that is honest expression, real encountering, real engagement. People know it. It's not a highly produced piece of shit for Israel or Oracle, or these monopolists that have captured all of our media and turned it all to crap. So, authenticity, awesomeness, creative, love, music, art, absurdity, theater, whatever. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on, and bring it on now. For all of us. I pray for all of us. All the people that work and sell their labor, and even some of the investment class. They're in peril too. Some of them think they're bunkered off. They're in New Zealand and some massive complex they made for themselves. Really, the elites have bunker mentality. If you don't know, if you didn't notice, they're no longer they're not saying, oh, we're going to be there with you, Jeff. We're going to be in downtown San Francisco, right? Just doing what we do, and all around, we're just going to be we're part of you. We're tied together with you. Our fates are in common. No, they're not thinking that anymore. They're thinking, get out, hide, run away, and boom, these people are about ready to be AI'd, They're about ready to be bombed and AI'd. And that's where they're at, in case you didn't notice. But we can fight this. We can get through this. We have to magnify, advance the better parts of ourselves. And we have to pray to our gods in meaningful ways, and reaching a meditative state where we're open to influence and better perspectives. We have to do that. And then we have to start thinking about this planet as a shared resource, not from the globalist point of view, not from scary globalists. We're going to control. You're going to have carbon credits, and you can't drive. No. See, that's what they want to do, using the climate crisis, climate change, vagueness that they keep hyping, right? So there is a crisis. It's capitalism. It's monopoly. It's us. It's not necessarily some vague trend, climate change. It might be, and that's happening. Or it might just be some local catastrophe. It might just be the collapse of your water system because of fracking or something like that. That's not climate change. No, that's fracking. So you call it what it is, deal with it on a local level, save your water. Data centers. You don't need any more data centers. Stop. Brakes. Stop. Pause. Hit pause on data centers. No more. We don't need to compete with China. No. Trying to enslave us. All right, miss. Well, what a cogent little nuggets of information I'm conveying here. But I'm feeling good in a weird way. And my faith is, I feel good. I feel like good things are happening. I feel like the Holy Spirit is still with us. But I feel like the human race is kind of collapsing. It's more of a crisis than you know. If you're not already saying, hey, we're in kind of a crisis, then I'm sorry that it hasn't, I'm glad that it hasn't hit you yet. I mean, I'm glad you're still in the bubble, kind of. That the bubble still exists, But we have to face reality at some point. It's hard work. We have to unite with people we maybe don't like along class lines and take back control of the planet, the water, the military, the Constitution, the blah, blah. Yeah, right? That's what we got to do. Back at 1786, we're about ready to call the Constitutional Convention for the first time. We're going to stay in these rooms for days and argue it. It's going to be tough. And then we're going to come out with a Constitution, which isn't perfect and reflects our culture of the time, but actually is one of the best documents to ever arise out of humanity for the working class in terms of guaranteeing rights, which they already have, right? Of course, inalienable rights. The Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, take these two together, man, it's powerful founding documents. So, even though you hate white supremacy and slavery and white supremacy, which is horrible, it's true. But see, that can be weaponized, that can be used to keep you from appreciating what also is maybe good, things that you could unite with that would empower you to be with your fellow Americans in some sort of meaningful, nice way for peace. Kind of, before they shot John F. Kennedy, I don't know when this all fell apart. For me, it's 2016. It's kind of like, that's before and after, it's plain as day. And 9/11. But, okay. 2000, election, Florida. All right, dimple chats. All right, so somewhere in these inflection points. All right. I'm doing great here. We're doing good. But the Lego videos, man, great work. Let's more of that, okay? More truth telling, more exposing. That's my prayer is often that evildoers will be exposed, and then just people will know. And sometimes it gets answered. It gets answered in weird ways. So the Epstein thing, it's like, oh, I've been praying about that for years. But now it's like, I don't know, it's toxic, it's partisan, because we don't have media. We don't have critical minds. So we couldn't walk away from that really looking at what happened. Kind of Israeli smear op. It's called not called a psychological operation. There's also like active smearing. Let's just smear a bunch of people. Make them guilty, like us. Bring them down. So anyway, all right. Well, you have a good one. I've got to sleep fast. Still in the middle of the work thing. But you have a good one. Be good to yourself. Breathe. Just breathe in, breathe out. Take it easy. Process what's happening. I think around here, I'm the only one who seems to feel it. All right. Have a good one.